What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the CTE Companion. Today, we are previewing UFC Fight Night, Dracus du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman. Certainly one of the fight nights that have ever happened. We got in the main event, obviously, the two men on the screen who are obviously AI'd and in terrible quality. Dracus du Plessis coming off his loss to Hamza Chimaev. Kamaru Usman coming off his win against Joaquin Buckley. I think that this is going to be a banger. There's two or three other fights that I think are going to be great on this card. Very quickly before we get into it, I'm trying to hit 50 subs by the end of the month. We're up to 32. We started the month with 20, so thank you so much. If we could keep that going, keep the momentum going. We're halfway through the month. Need a little bit of a push, so if you could please subscribe and like, that would be great. And let's get right into it. Okay, so very quickly, on Tapology, a fight got added overnight. Damian Anderson versus Ezra Elliott. It's not on this website, or on the UFC website, rather. I tend to believe Tapology more than I believe the UFC website. We'll see whether it happens or not. Damian Anderson's 5-0, Ezra Elliott's 7-0. It's both their UFC debuts. Didn't really watch footage on either of them. Not going to make a prediction, but apparently it might be happening. Anyways, according to the UFC website, kicking off the prelims, we got Anna Melisano versus Dione Barbosa. Dione Barbosa is a pretty big favorite. When I checked yesterday, I tried to not do the odds for these. I kind of stopped, but I got the odds for the first two. Dione Barbosa was a minus 450 favorite. She's now up to a minus 550 favorite. Looks like some late money's coming in on her, or people are actually starting to look at this card and realize that that was a little bit of a steal. She's coming off a win against Anna Melisano in her... No, Anna Melisano is who she's fighting out. Jesus, I can't read. She's coming off a win against Melissa Gatto in her UFC debut. She's an Olympic judoka. She's very well rounded, though. She did a lot of good work. I've seen her do some good work from the clinch. Her Muay Thai looks good. She has very good takedowns and really good BJJ on the ground. Anna Melisano, on the other hand, she's a primary Muay Thai fighter. She's a good striker. She does have a couple submissions on her record. She did show some takedown defense against the woman that she fought, I believe, 2 fights ago on the regional scene. But again, this is an Olympic-level judoka in Barbosa, and this was supposed to be Barbosa versus Veronica Hardy. This is also a short-notice debut. I'm going to take Dione Barbosa with this one. Next up, we have RJ Harris versus Alvin Hines. RJ Harris, the plus 115 underdog. Alvin Hines, the minus 135 favorite. Like I said, I saw the odds for this yesterday. It's slightly closed. It was plus 120 to minus 140. RJ Harris is 27. He's had 12 fights in the last 3 years, 7 amateur, 5 pro. He's 5-0 as a pro. Some good records for his opponents. He got 3 subs and a knockout in his professional career. He is not the most educated on the feet. He looks like a guy who hasn't been striking for too long. He definitely looks very hittable. His movement doesn't look the best. His striking doesn't look the best, to be honest. But his grappling looked pretty good. Hines, on the other hand, 7-1, coming off a loss to Donato Diniz. He's also pretty green, only been fighting for 4 years. He is 34. I think he's a better striker and can also wrestle. I think that Hines is going to win this one on the feet, probably by knockout. RJ Harris is just a little bit too hittable, especially for the heavyweight division where everyone can crack. Next up, we have Alden Correa versus Stuart Nickel. Alden Correa is 3-0 in the UFC against... 2-0 in the UFC. He beat Alessandro Costa and Luis Garul. Stuart Nickel, on the other hand, 0-3 in the UFC, lost to Jesus Aguilar, Lucas Rocha, and Alessandro Costa. I'm going to take Alden Correa. He looks very good on the feet. He's one of Joshua Van's main training partners. He switches stances. He's a good boxer. He's primarily out of the southpaw stance. I see him lining up a big southpaw cross right down the middle and finishing Stuart Nickel probably in the second round. Stuart Nickel's just a little bit slower, a little bit plottier, and a little bit more hittable. Anyways, following this up, we have Levi Rodriguez Jr. versus Felipe Franco. Rodriguez is 5-0. Franco's 10-2 at 25 years old, so clearly very active, clearly improving. Rodriguez, on the other hand, is 5-0. They had the same Contender Series opponent. Franco got choked out by the guy. Levy Rodriguez Jr. Knocked the guy out. He also popped for steroids, so it's a no contest. Surprised that they're going to let him make his UFC debut. I think that Dana White really just hated that guy after the performance he had against Rodriguez, or against Franco, and was just really glad that Rodriguez knocked him out. He had a little bit of an Almeida sort of style, and Franco was able to finish him. Franco's in his last fight, he lost to Mario Pinto. This is Rodriguez's debut after that fight on the Contender Series. I'm going to take Rodriguez by knockout. Anyways, we have Suk-Young Ko versus Jean-Paul Lebanowski. I'm going to take Suk-Young Ko for this one. They both fought Philip Rowe, and it was just a little bit cleaner when Suk-Young Ko fought him. He was able to take him down and control him for 3 rounds. It was a pretty boring fight. I think that this is actually going to be a very probably boring fight. Jean-Paul Lebanowski, on the other hand, he did not have such an easy time against Philip Rowe. His wrestling didn't look the same. He did look better on the feet, a little bit more dynamic. Suk-Young Ko, the Korean Tyson, he was landing big straight lefts. He's a southpaw, but I think it was primarily that wrestling threat that had Philip Rowe, having his hands kind of lower, making it easier for Ko to land that straight left. Lebanowski was able to take down Rowe as well, but wasn't able to get the same control and won a split decision. Suk-Young Ko absolutely dominated him. He also, he being Ko, also beat Oban Elliott in his UFC debut. I'm going to take Suk-Young Ko by grappling-based decision. Pretty boring. Yeah. He was supposed to fight Jacoby Smith in February, he being Ko again, but he was able to dodge that one. And Jacoby Smith was supposed to be fighting Kevin Holland on this card. This card really needed that fight because you could tell it's missing a co-main event. That would have been really great. Anyways, following that up, we have Austin Bashi versus Jose Miguel Delgado in the main event of the prelims. I'm gonna go with Delgado in this one. Austin Bashi is a primary wrestler. He lost to Christian Rodriguez, and he beat Giannis afterwards. He absolutely dominated Giannis, but he kind of got schooled by Christian Rodriguez. Jose Miguel Delgado lost to Nathaniel Wood on the feet and won a split decision against Andre Fili. Those are just 2 way higher level fighters than C-Rod and Giannis. He looked very good at the beginning of the Wood fight, but he kind of gassed trying to finish Wood. Austin Bashi, on the other hand, also kind of gassed out in his Christian Rodriguez fight after trying to wrestle him. And once C-Rod was able to weather that storm, Austin Bashi was not really able to maintain that pressure. I think Delgado is far superior on the feet. He switches stances. He throws a lot of weapons. He throws everything. Throws the legs, the knees, the punches, back fists, elbows. He's just he just has a much more educated striking style and a lot more defensively responsible. I don't think that Austin Bashi is going to be able to take him down. I wrote that this was a 50-50 fight. I did not see these odds yet, and the odds kind of show this one's going to be a tough one, but I think it's going to be Delgado by maybe second round KO. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, second round KO. Kicking off the main card, we have Tommy McMillan versus Alberto Montez. I mean, Tommy McMillan, what can you say about him? Super, super entertaining. He has a wrestling background, but he never uses it. He has also never once learned what defense was. So Tommy McMillan's going to go as far as his chin's going to carry him. He does not defend. He does not wrestle. He just throws and he goes and he tries to break people. He's always in a fight of the night. He's a fan favorite for a reason. But like I said, someone at the highest level is going to be able to crack him. So they're going to find that chin. He's going to get cracked. It's going to happen eventually. This guy needs to learn to calm down and have some defense. Alberto Montez, on the other hand, he beat Ricky Turcios in his UFC debut. He's a little bit more responsible on the feet, a little bit slower, a little bit more technical, and a great grappler. He apparently has the a very unique anaconda choke, which we weren't able to see in the UFC so far. I don't think we're going to see it at this fight. Tom McMillan's grappling is a little bit too good. I see this being contested primarily on the feet, and I could see Tommy McMillan's just pressure and all-out aggressiveness being able to break Alberto Montez. Next up, we have Tabitha Ricci versus Fatima Klein. This was supposed to be Fatima Klein versus Amanda Ribas, but Ribas obviously pulled out, and Tabitha Ricci is stepping in. Klein is coming off a win against Angela Hill. Tabitha Ricci is coming off a defeat to Virna Jandiroba. Klein's 9-1. Her only loss is to Jasmine Jasudavicius up at 125. At 115, she is undefeated. She is a very educated. She's very long. She's tall for the division. She kind of stays at range. She's a distance fighter. Tabitha Ricci, on the other hand, is a primary grappler. Fatima Klein's defensive grappling and her offensive grappling are both very good. And I think that she's better on the feet, so I see her winning a decision in this one. Just kind of keeping it at range and staying at the end of her 1-2 and her front kick, and just kind of cruising her way to a boring striking decision. In the featured fight of the night, we have Chase Hooper versus Mitch Ramirez. What just happened there? Sorry. Yeah, Chase Hooper versus Mitch Ramirez. Chase Hooper 16-5, Mitch Ramirez 8-3. Hooper's coming off 2 KO losses in a row to Lance Gibson Jr. and Alexander Hernandez. But Mitch Ramirez is not a striker or really a grappler. I think he's like 0-3 in the UFC, if I remember correctly. Just not, he's not really going to pose any threats to Chase Hooper, I believe. I think that Chase Hooper is going to get this one done by like a second round submission. I could see him just sort of taking Mitch Ramirez down, landing some ground and pound, taking the back, and submitting him. In the co-main event of the evening, we have Christian Leroy Duncan versus Jared Cannonier. Cannonier's coming off the MVP loss. CLD's coming off the Roman Dolidze win. Christian Rodriguez, very explosive, very crafty, very tricky on the feet, likes to spin a lot, which does get him in trouble sometimes. Jared Cannonier, on the other hand, very safe, likes to switch stances and throw feints at range. I could see the way I think that this happens is it kind of starts out with Christian Leroy Duncan being a little bit too explosive for him, and kind of piecing up Jared Cannonier. And I think that he's gonna find a shot straight down the middle while Cannonier's trying to switch stances. I could see Jared Cannonier, like, being a little bit too close, switching from orthodox to southpaw, and Christian Leroy Duncan just timing it with a big left hand. He also switches stances. I believe he primarily fights out of that southpaw stance. I could see Jared Cannonier switching from orthodox to southpaw to try and match the that closed stance of Christian Leroy Duncan, and when he does that, Leroy lands a big left hand straight down the middle. And in the main event, we have Dricus du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman's making his first ever actual appearance at middleweight. I say actual because the first one against Hamza was on short notice. He was a short notice replacement, didn't really have time to bulk up, and he's now making his full-time middleweight is more what I was looking for. His full-time middleweight debut. DDP, I mean, he's coming off that loss to Hamza. Before that, he had a few title defenses in a row. Former champion. I think that he's going to be able to get this one done by a 4th round TKO. I just think that he's going to be too big, too goofy, too high IQ. He has very high IQ. I mean, I know there's all the DDP by falling piano and everything. He's actually really good. He's crafty with the striking. He throws a lot of kicks. He mixes it up. He switches stances. He's able to find something that works for him. And I mean, I know we saw Hamza be able to get that to dominate him on the ground. It's been about a year since then, so I'm gonna imagine he's been working on that wrestling quite a bit. He is good at jiu-jitsu. He's bigger than Kamaru. Kamaru, on the other hand, on the feet, he's more of a boxer. He does switch stances and throw some kicks, but it's primarily with the hands. He hits very hard. We'll see how the power translates up to middleweight. Yeah, I don't know. It's really gonna be, I guess, gonna be whether Kamaru can take him down or not. I'm sure he's gonna get a couple takedowns, but I don't see him being able to advance position and hold down Dracus like Hamzat was able to. I think that DDP is gonna be able to use his jiu-jitsu and his size to get back up to reverse positions. And I think that moving up to middleweight, after I know Kamaru, he was coming alive in the later rounds against Hamza, but DDP is a different animal. I know he gets goofy and it looks like he gasses out, but then he goes on to finish people. And I think that he's going to do that. I think that the size is going to be too much. The physicality, the strength, the new weight class is going to be too much for Kamaru Usman. And DDP is going to be able to get this one done by 4th round TKO. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching the whole video. I really appreciate you. Remember, like and subscribe, please, and have a great day.